The history of the airplane is a journey that begins long before the first machine ever left the ground. For centuries, humans watched birds glide effortlessly through the sky and dreamed of joining them. Ancient legends and stories from different civilizations imagined flying chariots, winged horses, and magical carpets. Yet the dream of flight remained out of reach. What humankind lacked was not imagination, but the technology to turn this age-old desire into reality. And as the centuries passed, curiosity grew into science, and dreamers became inventors. One of the first major steps toward true flight came from the brilliant mind of Leonardo da Vinci. In the late 1400s, he sketched designs of flying machines, including ornithopters with flapping wings and parachute concepts. Although his ideas were far ahead of his time and impossible to build with the materials of his era, they revealed a deep understanding of aerodynamics. His sketches became inspirations for future generations, showing that flight could be studied, measured, and one day achieved. The real foundation for aviation began in the 18th century when the Montgolfier brothers of France created the first successful hot air balloon. In 1783, they launched a balloon carrying a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the sky. Later that same year, humans took flight for the first time, rising above Paris in a balloon that drifted silently over the rooftops. These early flights were mesmerizing, but balloons lacked control. They could rise and fall, but they could not steer. Still, the dream of controlled flight grew stronger. As the 19th century unfolded, scientists turned their attention to gliders. The German engineer Otto Lilienthal became a pioneer in this field. Throughout the 1890s, he made over 2,000 glider flights, collecting vital data on aerodynamics and proving that controlled flight was possible. His courage and dedication inspired countless inventors, including two American bicycle makers who would soon change the course of history. When Lilienthal died in a gliding accident, his final words were, "Sacrifices must be made," and his legacy continued through those who dared to push further. Wilbur and Orville Wright, working from their bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio, applied meticulous engineering, determination, and creativity to the challenge of powered flight. They studied Lilienthal's work, built their own wind tunnel, and tested hundreds of wing shapes to find the perfect design. They believed that three key elements were needed for a successful flying machine: lift, power, and control. Many inventors had solved lift and power, but control remained the missing piece. Through countless trials, the Wright brothers developed a revolutionary idea called wing warping, a method of twisting the wings to steer the aircraft. After many years of experimentation, they traveled to the windy sands of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where they believed the steady breeze and soft dunes would help them succeed. On the morning of December 17, 1903, the world changed forever. Orville Wright piloted the first powered, controlled, and sustained flight in human history. The aircraft, named the Flyer, lifted off the ground and traveled for 12 seconds. It was short, shaky, and only a few feet above the earth, but it marked the birth of the airplane. News of the Wright brothers' achievement did not spread quickly at first. Many doubted their claims, but the brothers continued to improve their designs, traveling to Europe and demonstrating flights that amazed crowds and convinced skeptics. By 1908, their airplanes could fly in circles, climb higher, and stay aloft for over an hour. Governments and military leaders began to realize the airplane's potential, not just as a scientific marvel, but as a tool that could transform transportation, communication, and warfare. As the airplane entered the early 20th century, innovation accelerated rapidly. Engineers designed stronger frames, more powerful engines, and more aerodynamic wings. World War I became the first conflict where airplanes played major roles. At first, pilots simply observed enemy lines, But soon, aircraft were used for combat, reconnaissance, and strategic missions. This era saw the rise of legendary pilots, daring aerobatics, and rapid technological growth. What began as fragile wooden machines became faster, stronger, and more reliable. Between the world wars, aviation shifted from military necessity to public fascination. Air shows drew massive crowds. Inventors and explorers competed to break new records. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh captured global attention by flying solo across the Atlantic Ocean from New York to Paris in the spirit of St. Louis. Amelia Earhart followed as a pioneering female aviator, inspiring millions with her courage and ambition. These flights proved that long-distance travel was possible and brought aviation into the public imagination. Commercial aviation began taking shape in the 1930s with aircraft like the Douglas DC-3, which offered safer, faster, and more comfortable travel than ever before. Airlines started to form, creating routes that connected major cities. For the first time, ordinary people, though still mostly wealthy travelers, could cross vast distances in hours instead of days. World War II marked another dramatic leap in airplane development. More powerful engines, all-metal designs, radar technology, and improved aerodynamics reshaped aviation. Fighter planes like the Spitfire and Mustang dominated the skies, while massive bombers changed the shape of warfare. By the end of the war, jet engines had arrived, propelling planes faster than ever imagined. The sound barrier, once thought impossible to break, was shattered in 1947 by Chuck Yeager in the Bell X-1. The jet age transformed aviation. Commercial jets such as the Boeing 707 and later the iconic Boeing 747 opened the world to mass air travel. What had once been a luxury became accessible to millions. Airports expanded, airlines flourished, and global tourism accelerated. People could reach new continents within hours, turning the world into a connected community. As technology advanced, airplanes became safer, more efficient, and more complex. Modern airliners like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and Airbus A350 use lightweight materials, advanced aerodynamics, and powerful engines that reduce fuel consumption while increasing comfort. Meanwhile, military aircraft pushed boundaries with stealth technology, supersonic speeds, and precision systems. The 21st century brought new visions for the future of flight. Companies began working on electric aircraft, autonomous drones, and concepts for supersonic or even hypersonic travel that could shorten intercontinental flights to just a few hours. Innovations in sustainability aim to make aviation cleaner and more environmentally friendly. Engineers continue to explore possibilities once considered science fiction, including vertical takeoff taxis, solar-powered planes, and next-generation spacecraft that blur the line between air travel and space travel. From ancient dreams to modern skies, the history of the airplane is a story of imagination, courage, and relentless innovation. It reflects humanity's desire to overcome limits, explore the unknown, and connect the world. The Wright brothers' fragile flyer evolved into machines that carry hundreds of passengers across oceans, deliver supplies to remote regions, and explore the edge of space. Every flight today, whether a short hop between cities or a journey across continents, carries the legacy of centuries of dreamers, inventors, scientists, and pilots who refused to believe that the sky was the limit.